I've been trying to replicate Matthew's quick release the entire practice, and this video is going to help you also adapt it for yourself. Also, hi, I thought I'd change things up with not wearing a jersey for once and showing some more love to HEG for hockey, which you can find on the HEG app. 50% off your first month if you use the link below. By the way, shifting all conventional programs over to that. I gotta be quick with this analysis. I only got 2 minutes. Sorry for all the noise too, but we're making do with what we got. Okay, so the key trick with the Matthews soft quick release is that you're letting the pass load your shot. You'll see that with literally just the video. Every time he collects the pass, at the same time he loads up. So if the pass is coming from this angle, he shifts. He will shift his feet at the exact same time that he picks up the puck. That's the first key. He's not using his hands to pick up the puck. He's using his footwork to pick up the puck. It's very subtle. I'll slow it down so that you can see it. But instead of using the hands to pick it up, just like this, before he takes a shot, he uses his footwork with little subtle edge drags that are very hard to see at first, but you'll see this with every pass that he receives. It's always with a little bit of footwork timing. What that allows for is to let you load up the shot much, much quicker in a surprise release mode instead of just staying on, let's say, 1 foot, like how it's traditionally taught before you have to go and catch up by taking a few extra strides. No, Matthews literally combines it all in one motion. Most analyses say that he does it and it looks like he does it in one motion. Yeah, because it is exactly one motion. Everything synchronizes together. So his footwork synchronizes exactly with his shot. And that'll be one of the first key things to practice, is picking up the passes with your footwork, shifting your feet at the exact same time that the puck comes along, instead of just using your hands to pick it up. There's an element to picking up the puck with just the hands. But if you want for the most game transferability, instead of doing what I just did there, I could do this with a slight little shift, getting the top hand back to the crevice, as Train 2.0 calls it, so that I center up my mass, stay balanced, so that I can make my next move. The key thing here is to stay balanced, which is what gives you optionality, which is what gives you the ability to see your next play and make your next move. That is why Matthews is so incredibly effective with any type of quick release that he's able to pick up. Without a doubt, the best in the game at this specific release. Now there's this video of him doing this in the middle of his strides at a 2016 development camp. And really the only change from a clip like that is that he's timing, again, his footwork with the picking up of the puck. So how does he do it? We should really slow it down. He takes a few steps, right? As soon as he picks it up, that's when he steps onto his blade side foot. So if I were to not move during that, he'd be stepping onto this at the same time that he'd be collecting the puck. So you can start by slowing this down. He's just right here, right? And then takes the shot immediately afterward. It looks a lot more complex than it actually is. Just think about it. I'll put you on this side so it can actually match up with it as a right-handed player. But if you really think about it, it's just the timing of the footwork that makes it all possible. It's not complex, it's not difficult once you break it down to its components and once you know what exactly to look for. So that's the reframing that you want when you're trying to execute this shot, is that it's all done. There's a lot of little details with the feet. That's what makes picking out the passes easier. That's what makes shooting out of that pass so much easier. That's what makes loading up the shot so much easier. If I didn't move my foot right there, I wouldn't be able to load the puck right here. Case in point, if I did the exact opposite right, I'd have to then shift things over and do an extra step, which is clearly not what Matthews does. So that's the first reframe to go over. The next thing on how to practice this for yourself is setting things up in a stationary area and then collecting passes from multiple angles. Here's a clip of him practicing exactly that. Now, one thing to notice is that he's not shooting hard with any of those shots, nor is that the point of this. The point of it is to get the timing down. And then, once you do get the timing down, once you take those incremental steps, you can take things further and further. So he's doing a rather lackadaisical or lazy release just because, once again, he's trying to get the timing off. He's more focused on that part of the release rather than the accuracy of his shot at first, and rather than the power of his shot. He will still get stick flex because he already has great mechanics, same thing with me, and therefore, like, there is a little bit of effort that he's putting into it, but not nearly as much as if he were to, say, load up from right here and then rip it just like that. And like I said, not only does he practice right here with his shots, he will also do a variation of it too, and then also practice from multiple different sides, which, by the way, is something that I've done for years, dating as far back as 2019, and that is why I have the right to talk about this topic with Matthew's quick releases, because I've worked on this, and then I can now talk about it also. I know what to look for. I know how to replicate it, not just on myself, but also on my other clients. So Matthews would practice this with multiple different angles, multiple different areas of passing. I'm only showing basically like one or two just for the shortening of a video like this. In that specific practice video, he'll collect it from the goal line and then take his release right after that. Again, very lazy shots to the naked eye. He's practicing his timing of the release. He's trying to get it as quick as possible. Then the power comes after that. Because he already has good mechanics set up, all he needs to do is just put a little bit of more downforce into the stick. So instead of doing something like I did at the beginning, if I wanted to shoot it a little bit harder, then I would go rotate more down, pull the puck in tighter to me, instead of have it maybe right out here and then having it rotate. Also, if you wanted a harder shot, you could get wider too, which Matthews has done also. If you're in a much wider position, you're in a much better optimality to rotate. The wider you get, the easier it is to rotate, which means you get more power out of it. It's not just being low. It's a lot more specific than that, but very simple for people to adapt. Just get wider if you care about shooting it harder or also skating faster. Just get wider. So we're back at this view because that's the final step into this, is replicating this at a game speed, which is basically just getting steps into the pass instead of just doing it on a stationary level. So it provides the most game transferability that's open to you, and then you can take it immediately after that, and you'll start to see it pop up more and more in games. Once again, there's a timing to this. As he's striding into this, step, and then takes a shot right after that. Everything is in a sequence. Everything is in a rhythm. When people talk about shooting in stride, they don't really specify it. They just say, like, take the biggest strides possible and then feed that into your shot. But when you actually dig into it, the players don't really take the biggest of strides when they pick up the puck, and that's the same thing with Matthews. He's not going at 100 miles an hour in this clip. He's just taking slightly bigger steps, which allow for at least some game transferability. This is a hard shot, that's why I'm flubbing on some of them. Now, that's not to say that you can't go faster into it, but remember that there's a timing element. So to say that he's shooting in stride, it's not very accurate, because he's just moving at the same time that he collects everything together. There's not necessarily a shot in stride. It's very hard to prove that actually happens when you slow down the video. What looks like shooting in stride is actually just the final step of the footwork that we saw when we did it stationary. That's all of that coming together. It's all in a sequence. It's all in a stack of movements. It's all in a stack of mechanics, you could call. The shooting in stride cue is not what helped me. What actually helped me was breaking it down sequence by sequence and then slowing down the footwork so that I could time getting onto that side before taking my shot, say if I wanted to shoot off of that foot. But if I wanted to shoot off the other foot, then I would just plant myself wider. So it'd be something like, if I want to shoot off my blade side, then it'd be right there. But you see that I got wider because I needed to time myself with the pass. Yep, then obviously you can do it both ways. And again, the reason that I can get a quick release like that is because I'm focused on my footwork that leads into it, not the hands, not everything else. We've established already that it is the footwork that helps out your shot rhythm, and therefore patterning, and therefore stacking things together. Just view it as either a stutter or a corkscrew into your shot, but instead of having it right here to pull it back and then taking your shot right afterwards, view it as soon as you collect the puck, you're right here, then you're right here, then you shoot right afterwards. Just one final note I could say with this shot is that there is a big difference between collecting the puck like this, right, and just slapping at it, and also collecting the puck just like Matthews is doing on both sides of his foot. So that is example number one. And then you also have the knob side, which is example number two. It's learning this type of pass reception, which is the sweep of the puck. But you also want to note something that Matthews does differently. Instead of having the stick stuck at his hip, at like his top hand stuck right here, he instead will load it to his other hand at the same time that he receives the puck. That is one of the hardest things to do. So it doesn't mean that it always needs to come up, but if you want a much smoother shot, try extending the top hand to this side before coming in and taking your shot. You might find that you get a lot more power with a lot less effort. My blade side needs more work than my knob side, but that's all the secrets to it. You can practice this off ice in addition to on ice, but remembering those steps, it's the reframe that you always need your footwork to pick up passes or to shoot instead of just your hands. The other thing is the pass reception. Not stopping it with your stick, but accepting it, cradling it, like what you have in the Mighty Ducks movie with the egg. That's the other thing. Then you stretch the top hand across to load your slingshot You practice it stationary, and then you practice it moving after that. So I hope this helps any of you. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Hockey hacks. Hockey hacks.
H-A-C-K-S?
Yes.